The Switch 2 is on the way, so it's time to celebrate the original Switch with my 10 favorite games. All right, you guys, we all know that Nintendo's about to drop a whole bunch of new information on Nintendo Switch 2, and because Nintendo Switch 1 is my favorite console of all time, I'm a little bit sad that I'm going to be saying goodbye to it and moving over to the Nintendo Switch 2. It feels imminent, and I thought, okay, well, I want to talk a little bit about this console and what it has meant to me and talk about some of my favorite games. So over the next several weeks, I'll be looking at some lists of some of my favorite experiences on the original Nintendo Switch. We're going to start with my 10 favorite Nintendo Switch games, and spoiler alert, these are all published by Nintendo. Number 10 is Luigi's Mansion 3, which was made right here in Vancouver, BC, where I'm based. It was made by Next Level Games, and they did a phenomenal job honing the gameplay that you could do with Luigi being scared in a mansion, being frightened by ghosts. It was such a beautiful experience, and what really impressed me was just the lengths that the studio went to tell a story and to get us lost in the mind of this scaredy cat who is so freaking charming. This was such a blast to play this game. Really impressed by Luigi's Mansion 3, and all the multiplayer and extra add-ons that they put into the experience. Was so blown away by this title, and it kind of undermined Luigi's Mansion 2 HD when they brought that to the Switch. It really couldn't live up to its predecessor. This game is phenomenal. Number 9 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and this game overwhelmed me with its options and its choice of characters and the deluge of downloadable content. All of these incredible features that just kept coming. The team behind this was obsessive, and they were so ambitious, and it's really hard to fathom how Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to be beaten on Nintendo Switch 2, but you know Masahiro Sakurai is working hard to try to figure that out right now. I can't wait to see what the future for the Smash franchise holds, because this game is irrefutably incredible. Number 8 on my list is Yoshi's Crafted World, and I know that this is an easy game and it sort of slants a younger crowd out there, but this game hit me right here in the heart when it came out. I was blown away by the beauty of the game and its creativity and its accessibility. I played this with my daughter, which I know played a huge part of how much I love this game. But I was bowled over by its inventiveness and its charm, and to watch my little kid just sit there and be completely transported by this experience. Yoshi's Crafted World is sensational. It's also always overlooked. Nobody talks about that game. That's why it's on my list. I absolutely adore it. Number 7 on my list is also another overlooked gem. It's called Astral Chain, developed by Platinum Games. It's loaded with incredible action, and it's got this dystopian cyberpunk aesthetic to it. Lots of cool elements like riding a bike and just feeling like you're playing through something like Blade Runner or Akira, and then you're jumping into this other alternate reality where you have control of these mech-like creations that you can constantly upgrade. And the combat is amazing in this game, the sort of detective qualities of this game, because you play this cop that's trying to save the world as humanity is on the edge of extinction. It is sublime. What an incredible game. I absolutely adore Astral Chain, and I recommend it to everybody I know that has a Switch. Number 6 on my list is Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is the game that got CNN to give me a call about talking about video games with them, because it was such an omnipresent experience. Everybody was playing Animal Crossing. It came out during the pandemic, and this gave us a chance to have an alternate life, a very peaceful, beatific life, building our homes and customizing them, and yes, doing a little gardening and doing some chores and things that will bring in some bells so you can keep buying all the cool widgets and the different outfits and things that you can customize. Man, I spent so many hours, not as many hours as you did though. I know, I can see you watching this right now. You played too much Animal Crossing New Horizons, but man, was that fun. What a great escape that game was. Again, I can't wait to see what Nintendo follows up with on this franchise, because New Horizons was a juggernaut, sold more than 30 million copies. It's an astounding game, and it deserves to be on every top 10 list for the Nintendo Switch. Number 5 on my list is something much more action-packed and may not be for everyone. It's called Metroid Dread, and it returned Samus Aran to 2D, and it was unbelievably intense with beautiful upgrades and lots of cool battles that you would get into, and an interesting backstory where you don't quite know what to believe, and it was just so much fun. This was one of those beautiful types of games where you're playing it in your mind even when you're not playing it on your Nintendo Switch. It also looked incredible with the Nintendo Switch OLED, which launched right around that same time. Absolutely phenomenal game. Number 4 on my list is Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and like Metroid Dread, it returns to some 2D familiarity, sort of the roots of Nintendo game making, and it's just such a stunning looking title. You can jump back into any stage in that game and you're instantly playing the game with a smile on your face. I love the way that music is interwoven into the experience. I love the way the difficulty ramped up with the game as well. I find it to be one of those sort of chill games too, that you can just jump back into it and have an excellent time. And it's loaded with all kinds of wacky surprises that are super well crafted and tuned for the controls. But you've got these psychedelic little trips that you go on mid-level, and you can play this with multiple people at the same time locally, and then there are also some pretty interesting online facets plugged into this game as well. I adore Super Mario Bros. Wonder. That's why it's number 4 on my list. And number 3 on my list is another Mario game. It's Super Mario Odyssey, which returned Mario to a beautiful 3D action adventure with lots of interesting, diverse levels and this whole new mechanic of being able to put Mario into all these funky costumes with this hat that was incredibly useful, and lots of awesome homages to classic Nintendo and Mario experiences. My God, this game was so freaking incredible, and especially because it came out in the launch year of the Nintendo Switch, and it just was a smash, and it's stood the test of time. So now we're all waiting to see what Nintendo follows up with regards to a brand new 3D adventure for Mario, and they've got a lot to live up to here. This was an amazing game. Number 2 on my list is my favorite racing game of all time. It's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it wouldn't have become that had Nintendo not also offered all of this incredible, extensive DLC to this game. It was amazing at launch. I remember reviewing the game with Johnny Millennium from the Happy Console Gamer, and we both had a blast. I think we both gave it 10 out of 10. It's certainly a 10 out of 10 experience, but it just became more than a 10 out of 10 as Nintendo kept adding new tracks and new courses set all over the world. They were taking some stuff in from previous Mario Kart games and some from the mobile Mario Kart experience as well. And all of these other characters interwoven from the Nintendo pantheon in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Incredible. And again, I'm kind of worried for how they're going to beat this with Mario Kart 9. We got a little tiny taste of it in that first video for Nintendo Switch 2, but how is Nintendo going to beat Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? I can't wait to find out. And number 1 on my list, and this is kind of an either-or, it's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for me, but I know for many of you it might be Tears of the Kingdom. I really love Tears of the Kingdom as well, but Breath of the Wild was that perfect shock. It was that perfect launch title that took my breath away. I could not believe how much Nintendo had reinvented the Zelda formula and given us something so fresh and so brand new, even though we'd played lots of open world experiences by the time they let us loose on their new Hyrule. It was just such a breath of fresh air. It was so open and it felt so organic, and all of the physics just worked exactly the way that you thought they would, and the surprises in the shrines and the creature fights that you would get into and all of the villages that you would visit. It was just a surprise and a freaking smile around every corner in that game. I did not want it to end. Whereas with the Tears of the Kingdom experience, I adored that game as well, and I was blown away by the ambition and scale of the game, but I did kind of want it to end by the time I got through it. But, you know, you can't have one without the other, it feels like. It feels like Breath of the Wild was building towards Tears of the Kingdom. I'm actually curious, which one do you prefer? Both games, I think, are the biggest showcases for what the Nintendo Switch is capable of as a gaming platform, but I prefer Breath of the Wild. Let me know if that's your choice, or if you like Tears of the Kingdom, or if you don't like it, let me know in the comments below. But there you go. Those are my top 10 games for Nintendo Switch. I think anybody that's got a Nintendo Switch platform should have those 10 games in your collection, or 11. I also struggled with Metroid Prime Remastered and Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Both of those games are worthy of a top 10 inclusion, but I kind of said to myself that I didn't want to do a remaster in there. I wanted games that were built with the Switch in mind. But man, what a list, what a console. Freaking love Nintendo Switch. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting EP by subscribing. And if you're a member, thank you so much for your support. We will see you soon. And until then, play forever.